Oh, I got it. I got it. Hey, Colby.
What's that, Barry?
Do you like fish? Wait. Oh, man, that is going to be a really obscure... Or it just sounds bad, right? When you ask anyone if they like fish. Like, it depends on the tone.
True, yeah.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This.
Music.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the last movie of The Kings.
Yeah. Is this the last one?
I think so. Yeah. It should be the last one.
Okay. Yes, this is the last one.
Yeah. We're never sure. It's December from when we're recording this, so...
Oh, that's right, because we did one, and then we skipped, and then we...
Yeah, because we have to do the holiday movies. Yeah. I forgot the Christmas movies are coming out.
Right.
Hope you guys are enjoying those. No, but today we are doing 2015, Canada's 2015 coming of age story.
Yes.
Sleeping Giants.
We don't hold it against Canada.
Yeah, it was so American of me before we started recording. I told Colby, I was like, it said Lake Superior, so I thought it was an American. It's just so American for me to be like, yeah, it's always about it. Lake Superior is ours.
Right, yeah. That's in America.
This is a red, white, and blue film. But before we get into talking about the movie, which I think today, I think we're just gonna have to discuss the themes and stuff, because it's kind of it's almost like a movie about nothing, just a summer.
Yeah.
Right? And it's funny, as I watched this movie, I didn't get bored, but I felt like I was watching memory reels for somebody.
Oh, okay. No, that totally makes sense.
Show. Yeah. It's
somebody's home movies,
yeah, and especially the way a good amount of this movie is actually shot too. It's handheld,
right?
You can tell what the shaking is, so it felt, especially at the beginning of the film. But let's go to our first segment, movie trailers. I wrote it this time.
Excellent.
3 teenage boys, 1 big lake. It was supposed to be just another summer vacation, but hormones have entered the chat. Lies, jealousy, adultery, homosexuality. There's a ton of things that this summer is bringing that's never been brought before. This is 2015 Sleeping Giants. Oh, man. So... I hope Mr. Movie Phone Guy is proud. Is that his name? Was that his name, Mr. Movie Phone, or?
I think because I know it was Movie Phone.
Right, and he had that voice. He had that iconic trailer voice.
Right.
So, but yeah,
they even did an episode of Seinfeld where somebody accidentally called Kramer, and asked him about movies. And so then he happened to have the newspaper there, so he looked it up and he read them the news, the movies
and the times,
like the Movie Phone Guy.
Oh yeah, because he would just read the synopsis, right?
Yep.
Yeah, man, see, the 90s were kind of weird. You call the telephone to find out what this movie was going to be about. No, this, like I said, this movie felt like a huge, just compilation of someone's home movies about summer.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of recognizable things that's in this.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as a boy.
Yeah.
That was there's 3 main male characters, and I related to all of them at some point during this movie.
Yeah, because in so just to list off all the characters, so no one's I'm not introducing them as as we talk about the movie.
Right.
We have who I think is supposed to be our main character is Adam.
Yep.
He seems like he's 15 years old. He seems kind of meek, shy. You know, he's kind of a nerd, but not really.
Right.
He's just more reserved than the two boys he hangs out with.
Yeah.
During the summer. And we really start this movie not knowing if they've always known each other or if they had met each other during this summer vacation.
Right. Because they definitely, because there's also a girl. And they definitely make reference that Adam has come to this like lake house every summer for like his whole life. Yeah. And so he sees this girl every summer for a few weeks.
And those are rough summer.
And I mean, like they knew each other since they were young. So they're just kind of friends.
Right. And this is like the reason why in the trailer I had a little bit of the homosexuality, because it's weird. There's like this weird tension between Adam and one of the other boys, and I just, maybe it was just me, but so like we have Riley, who is cousins with the kind of the antagonist of the movie, right, which is Nate. But Riley and Nate are cousins, you know, they're family, you know. Riley seems a little bit more like, you know, he's chill. Right, but he's also a couple years older. Maybe like a year or two. I don't think too much. Right. Yeah. Nate is he's the wild child of the bunch. Yes. And it's funny because like throughout this whole film, you feel like Nate really antagonizes Adam. You know, he's like, I don't like hanging out with you. Or something like that. There's a little jealousy going all around where it's like Riley's he's the one that's a little older and a little cooler, and Adam really likes him because he's like showing Adam like attention and being his friend, and you know, you at that age you when you start to make like close friends, especially like a friend that's somebody who's like a year, even if it's just a year older, like you look up to them, you want to be cool so that they'll want to hang out with you, right? And then you've got like his cousin who is like, hey, we're cousins, why are you all of a sudden not hanging out with only me and you're hanging out with, you know, you've brought this third wheel into our group. Yeah. And like, so there's also like a class divide, I feel like, with them, because Adam's family seems pretty well off. Right. They have this beautiful lakeside house. They have a boat. I just feel like rich people have boats. You know, recently, earlier this year, I had attended Kobe's daughter's graduation, and one of his friends has a garage for his boat. Yep. I was like, that's some rich people shit. Like, they had a TV outside of the house. I was like, oh my God. This is the height of luxury. In this Las Vegas heat, they have a TV that just tells me that they have enough money to replace that TV. Like the garage for the boat has air conditioning. Right. But it's so funny because they're definitely like a keeping up with the Joneses kind of family, because then they're also like, make sure you get extra napkins at the drive-thru at McDonald's because we're out of napkins here at home. They're like, we got the big stuff, but, you know, make sure you steal some of the sugar packets and the sweet and lows. That's how rich people stay rich. You know, they're like, let's not worry about the mediocre things. Right. No, and so, yeah, and then you see Nate and you see Riley they're not living there. They're staying with their grandma, who's obviously retired. Right. You know, and even for her, like, you know, she's... you know, I'm thinking her husband had passed away and the house is already paid off, so she's not doing too bad. But the kids, Riley and Nate, definitely have, you know, they're lower on the class system than Adam is. Right. Yep. You know, and Nate does start to get jealous because, you know, Riley or Adam's family. Adam's family starts to sort of like, hey, Riley, do you want to come out on the boat with us? Yeah. Do you want to have dinner? It's
the dad sees his son being this like, we haven't even really gotten into the movie, but but the dad sees the son being like quiet and meek, and you now have this kid who's just a little older and cooler and more outgoing, and he's like, yeah, bring him home. Let's have you. We want you to have a cool friend.
Yeah, he has the wavy hair, that skateboarder, like snowboarder, wavy hair,
surfer kid.
Yeah, definitely. So he's like, oh man, maybe this kid will help bring Adam out of his shell.
Yeah.
Right. And so, but yeah, so that's explaining the dynamics between the three kids. Obviously, we have Taylor, who is Adam's childhood friend.
The female, yeah.
The female, right? When like they just suddenly throw her at you, like you don't even, there's no context, and you just see Adam hanging out with the girl. You're like, oh, sweet, good for that kid.
Yeah. And his dad makes a comment about it. It's like, oh yeah, Taylor looks like she blossomed. She looks a little different.
Yeah,
but like it's one of those things. Like I guess if you see somebody only over the summer, especially if it's like a female and they leave one summer and the next summer they come back and they've
boobs,
some body shape, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, that's
and like
that gives me feelings.
Right, and it's like it happens, especially if you're like one of those kids that go to summer camp, and like obviously if you've been going there since you're like a young child, and then one summer you come back and that girl that was like your tomboy little girl best friend from last year comes back with some boobs. It's just like that South Park episode when Bebe grew boobs and all the boys became cavemen.
Yep.
It's exactly the same situation, but and so I don't know. Like I was like, oh, is Adam in love with Taylor? I mean, you're 15. The hormones are working overtime.
Right. Yep.
I was like, oh, but then like he's like, no, we're just friends. So that's just explaining all those situations, right? But like the movie is pretty bare as far as plot goes. I think like even just us talking about the characters have kind of like covered like 50% of the movie.
Right.
But so yeah, we have the three kids. They get along fairly well, except for like Nate, who antagonizes Adam all the time. They even get into like they play wrestle. He hurts himself on a rock.
And it's definitely it's not like, oh God, I hurt you. It's like, come on, get up, pussy.
Which I feel like every group of friends has that one guy that's like kind of
exactly
alpha.
Right? No, like yeah. Or like he's definitely not the alpha, but he wants to be.
Oh yeah.
So he's just the loudest, most obnoxious one.
Right, yeah. It's the Chihuahua syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Or the Napoleon Dynamite, or not Napoleon Dynamite. The Napoleon complex, right?
Right.
But no. We see throughout this beginning of the first half, we see a nice blossoming effect between Riley and Adam's family. They kind of take him, to just have dinner. They do the boat rides and all that stuff. And Riley still hangs out with his cousin Nate. He does get upset when he gets ditched to go on the boat ride, but then after that they go visit this creepy dude in a freaking motorhome. And his claim to fame is that he jumped off the, what's it called, like that Tyler Rock or something?
Yeah.
Which is like a 125-foot drop, which is definitely something you shouldn't be doing.
Right, it's the cliff that you could dive off of, but nobody's brave enough to. Right. And the rumor is that this guy jumped off it, and he's got a videotape, so he actually did.
Yeah.
He's not just bluffing, which I thought he was at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly the same, man.
And that only one other person has ever attempted it, and they died.
Who the cliff is named after.
Yes.
At least he has a cliff. That's his legacy, right? Yeah, and so they hang out.
I'm glad his name wasn't Cliff, because then it would just be the Cliff.
No, it'd be Cliff Squared. Right, and so for the most part, we get through this movie. It's just the boys having a typical Midwestern summer.
Right.
right? They're getting into some mischief where they steal some alcohol from the gas station,
right? And you can see the boredness of 15-year-olds.
Oh yeah,
over a summer, because they start off and then like they're shooting fireworks, and then later on they're shooting fireworks at things, and then they're like, beating up a dead goose.
The goose is already dead.
It's already dead.
Yeah, we don't want to like pin these boys as psychopaths.
But then it's like, oh, it's a dead goose. Let's play with it.
It's the same. Like, oh, guys, I saw a dead body.
Right. Then they smoke a joint.
Right.
And then it's like, I'm assuming now we're like 3 weeks into the summer, a month in, and it's like, let's see if we could steal a case of beer and make away. Like our getaway is a golf cart.
Right. I was like, no, I can fucking chase that golf cart. Right. But that gas station guy's too.
And you're on an island with like 120 people. Like they're not gonna know the 3 kids that stole the beer.
And you're on camera.
Yeah, and you're on camera.
Right. I definitely remember the thing that like scares me the most, right, is that I remember doing like the fireworks stuff. I was like, we're shooting freaking Roman candles at each other.
Oh yeah, right. Yep.
Right. And I just don't think that 10 years from now, the kids born from quarantine, or 15 years from now, kids born in quarantine, they're not gonna do the reckless shit that you should have done it as a teenager.
Right. Yeah. Like even like my daughter she just started college, and like she didn't do those things. Like I was like, oh, you got invited to a party, you should go. She's like, I don't really know anybody. It's not going to be that fun. I'm like, it's a party.
Yeah.
Go. Get drunk. If you don't get drunk, but I mean, if you have a drink, give me a call.
Yeah, like I will pick you up.
I'll pick you up.
Yeah.
I won't even ask any questions till the next day.
Like, there's like a borderline, right? Especially for parents. Like if you have a teenager, you're like, do dumb shit now. Get it out of your system. Yeah. Cause but don't go overboard. Like if someone's like, "Hey, you want to do a line of coke?" You should be like, "No, like, I don't want to do that." But you're like, "Hey, do you want a beer?" I was like, "Oh, that's fine."
Right.
This podcast is not condone underage drinking,
right, or drug use,
or drug. But yeah, like and like I just feel like as I was watching this, it's like, oh, this is like. My child, we would do like they strap the freaking Roman candle on a skateboard.
Oh, right.
Super cool.
Right. And I don't see kids
in the future
doing stuff like that.
Well, they'll be doing it just on the Oculus Rift. Like, like 10 to 15 years from now, like broken like arms and legs from teenagers is going to go down significantly.
I broke my finger because I got in a bar fight with somebody virtually, and I accidentally punched the door jamb at my house.
I have the rise of carpal tunnel is going to be exponential.
The carpal tunnel epidemic of 2031.
Oh, wait. But, and then, we do get to see them. Oh, so like in the July 4th part, as the kids are like, they're hanging out and all that stuff, Riley ends up seeing her, Adam's dad, fool around with the fish lady. Right? And I was like, oh no, it's like a Lifetime movie now.
Right.
And it's not this huge plot point. Well, no, I guess it is a huge plot point because once Nate brings that up to Adam, he's like, "Hey, Adam, do you like fish?" I was like, "Is this gonna be like a pussy joke?" Or but no. Nate ends up. He's like, "If it was my mom, I would want to know." Right, and so he tells Adam, he's like, "Your dad was fucking the fish lady." And I think this is towards where like this, I don't think this is the tipping point yet of Adam acting out. I mean, it definitely is when he acts out against his father,
right? But you're also like, it's also a point where Nate isn't necessarily telling Adam this, like, dude, you're my friend. I gotta let you know your dad's banging the fish woman. He's like, why are you even here? Why are you messing with me and my brother? He told me and he didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't care that much about you. So, yeah, you just get out of here.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to split them apart.
Right.
Because Nate wants to hang out with his cousin. He wants to do dumb shit with his cousin and all that stuff, but Adam keeps getting in the way.
Right. And Adam's not, it's not that he's a buzzkill, but he doesn't want to do these wild things that these two cousins have obviously been doing for
a long time.
Yeah.
Right. And and so it sucks, but I felt like the tipping point was like, so Nate, Riley, and Adam have been also hanging out with Taylor and another female friend,
right? That we don't really even.
Yeah, she doesn't have a speaking role. It's more Taylor that's in this movie, but Riley goes up to Adam after Nate antagonizes. They're like, "Are you not gonna do her?"
Right.
They're like, oh, I think the other girl's name is Shauna, because like Riley goes, "Oh, Shauna looks way easier."
Right.
But,
yep.
Right. Oh, Taylor has a nice body and I'll totally turn her into my cum dumpster. It's like, fucking Christ. And Adam has, like Adam being Taylor's friend for as long as he has been, doesn't get mad. Like, he doesn't
really have a reaction because he's quiet and he's like, I'm like, I've been this girl's friend and I don't want to ruin the friendship.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't want to try to pursue a relationship.
I am now attracted to her that she's got boobs, but I don't want to be like, all like I'm, whipped. I don't want to be like, I'm following the girl around.
And he doesn't want to ruin the relationship by relationship with the boys by defending this girl.
Right. Because when you're 15, boys, no matter how much you like girl, all the boys are all like, girls are trash. I just do them and dump them. And then you get back home and you're like texting and you're all like, hey, babe.
How was your day?
I missed you. I saw you walk into math class. I like your new shoes. Right. Yeah.
But this really, so like when they catch the dead seagull, right? This is where like Nate kind of explodes on Adam. He's like, why aren't you getting mad?
Right.
We're shitting all over your girl. We're calling her cum dumpster, and we'd only use her for her body, but it's too much work because she probably wants you to listen to her. Like, dude, get mad, do something.
Right.
And, that's, I feel like even though they're not really friends, like, they tolerate each other, I think that's something that's important for Adam to hear.
Right.
He's like, because, like, if you suppress a lot of those things, it makes you I feel like it makes you act out in more malicious ways, which we do get to see Adam do.
Right.
Right. Because, so, like, when Adam, when they all have, like, this board game night, like, Riley is, like, telling Nate, just come, you'll have fun, like, we'll chill out with them, right? And at this point, Adam had caught Riley and Taylor making out at the arcade. Right,
which is like, it's a weird, like, Riley definitely knew Adam was into Taylor, but he asked, like, a dozen times, are you going to go for it?
Yeah. Oh, he definitely...
is there something between you? And he was always like, nah, we're just friends. So I'm like... It's like this weird, like, he steps the line, but he asked permission to step the line kind of thing.
Well, so, like, how I saw that as, right, was when, Riley does, he's like, you should go for it before the opportunity, like, leaves you.
Right.
And, like, early on in the movie, when we get to see Taylor and Adam interact with each other, I mean, she's definitely looking at him. You know, she's like sending these very subtle signals, like when they're on the trampoline and they're jumping next to each other. She's definitely eyeing Adam.
Right.
Like, come on, my boobs just came in. Don't you want to play?
Right. Yeah. And when they're in the lake and she's like,
yeah, she spits in his face.
Yep.
I was like, oh, Kiki. This is terrible. I feel like saying this about freaking teenagers, but like, you know, she's very flirtatious with him.
Right.
You know, and so Riley, he's, you know, I mean, if you're like, when you're that young and there's like a girl that's suddenly blossomed, or maybe they didn't know her, but like, you know, she's, you know, attractive, but you know, your boy is like friends with them. You're so like, you don't want to overstep your boundaries, right? But he's given him so many times where he's like, you should go for it.
Right.
Please go for it.
Yeah.
Before I go for it. And
right.
And I think you can't get mad at it if you were too much of a coward to try.
Right.
And so Riley, you know, he's a year or two older. You know, he has that coiffed hair, that Harry Styles hair. You know, he's always doing that little hair flick with his head.
Right. And I was a little bit surfer, like young Bieber.
Yeah, young Beaver surfer vibes. And, you know, like, you know, at this point, I think like when they go to the arcade, him and, you know, Taylor exchange a couple glances, and at the end of it, he nods to go into the laser tag room.
Yep.
And, you know, and Nate sees it and tells Adam, like, hey, where's your best friend Riley who got you this elephant? Which I was like, why did he give it to the guy?
Right. Yep.
And, you know, and then Adam catches them kissing. So it's like the second betrayal that he probably feels like he's had this summer.
And I almost took that as like
betrayal.
Like the elephant was like the sign was like, here, I'm going to win you an elephant so you can give it to Taylor. And then when he was like, Riley, give me an elephant. He was like, oh, obviously you don't care about her enough to give you this elephant. You'd rather just keep it. So I'm going to give her my tongue.
First of all, if another guy gave me an elephant, I can't give that to the girl. You know, it's like, it's such a cuck move. Like, I couldn't win it, but he could. And then he gave me this to give it to you.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man, and we'll talk about the deterioration of Adam and his father's relationship. We seen them play ball a couple times, but once Adam finds out that he was fucking the fish lady, he gets the most aggressive you see him in this movie as he chucks the baseball at his dad, and he's like, does mom know?
Yeah.
It's like if for Adam it felt like they were finally on this like eye level, like, oh, don't make me tell mom you're fucking the fish lady.
Yep.
And dad, like, this is probably the only time I was like, oh, I do not like dad at this moment, because he's sort of trying to, I don't know, gaslight him. He's like, if you tell your mom, this will change everything.
Right.
And it'll be your fault.
It's just going to be bad. It's going to be your fault.
Right. And I was, the very thin line of playing cool dad.
Right. Yep.
And then, like, you know, what's it called? The situation from the gas station comes up to the parents, and, you know, what's it called? Adam's dad tries to talk to Riley, and
well, I liked it when they were in the kitchen, and the mom's like, just tell me the truth. And Adam looks at his dad and says, oh, we're going to tell the truth? And dad's just like, well, the boy said he didn't do it, and we got to trust our son. If he says he didn't do it, he didn't do it. I'll go down there and I'll take a look at the films. And if it's him, then, you know, then we can have another talk. But I'm not going to blame him if he says he didn't.
Which is a terrible dynamic to be in, right? You're like,
I know, because like I was told, because they made light that he was 15, and I was like when they're playing baseball, he's like, Dad, I know about you and the fish woman, and my 16th birthday's coming up, and I think I need a car.
Did he say that?
No.
Oh,
I was going through my head.
I'd like a nice 1976 Chevy or something. I don't know. Challenger, Dodge Challenger. No, definitely. Yeah, that's definitely a nice little. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you don't want to break up your family especially if your dad says it was a mistake. I don't know. Like I don't know the relationship,
Right.
But and so that relationship is tumultuous. I have a big word for the day.
And then Adam is still hanging out with Taylor even when Riley's not around. But whenever Riley's not around, he's planting little seeds of deceit.
Yeah, but it's weird because it's not him shit talking Riley. It's him shit talking Taylor.
Right.
He's like, I know you go through guys. I was like, whoa, gaslighting her.
Yeah, instead of being like, yeah, he's only using you.
Well, he does that later.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's my friend, and I know how you go through guys, and I don't want you just like hurting my friend and then like it making it awkward here.
Basically, it's like, you're a slut and you're gonna hurt my best friend. And this is where I was like, is he gay? Like, because there's
no, he's just throwing out this little bit of deceit, like because he's jealous because he's losing his friend to the girl that he feels he should have.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I was like, there's like moments where they're like, it's Riley and Adam like kind of roughhousing, and I was like, oh, this is a little gay. And then like when he started shit talking, like when he started telling Taylor like, you're a slut, like you're gonna hurt my friend, and she's like, fuck you, and I was like, why is he shit talking the girl? And then the second part when he does it again, it's like, oh, but then I was like, but that could also be interpreted like, get away from my best friend. That's how I saw it, right?
Right.
I don't know.
Like I felt it was like vindictive against her because even though he never made a move, she still picked somebody else who was interested in her when she couldn't get him to be interested in her.
Oh, right. I mean, yeah,
and
man.
So, like, it's all his fault, and he's mad at himself, and he's taking it out on her because...
Why'd you make out with my best friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely, like, there's, what's it called, incel vibes coming from Adam when he was being very malicious towards, right? Because on the second meeting, I think this is after this is why I wanted to talk about Riley and Adam's dad, because when they were talking about, like, the gas station, Riley still covers. He's like, oh, he wasn't there. Like, me and Nate were being, mischievous, and all that stuff. But there's a conversation that they had where Adam's dad was like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? And Riley's like, I want to be a chef, or I want to cook, because that's like my dad was teaching me how to do it, and I thought it was really fun. But when they have board game night, Nate feels like a kind of a hostility towards that whole Adam and his family.
Right.
Obviously, because it looks like, they're like when you're on the lower class and you see someone else having this wonderful life, you want it, so you're jealous.
Yeah.
And so you lash out. And then, so when they're playing this, I don't know what board game they're playing, Settlers of Catan.
It was.
Oh.
Yes.
I thought it was like, is it the train one? I forgot it was like,
Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, Ticket to Ride. But like, like Adam's dad is like, oh, it's like chess, once you lay it down, you can't pick it up. But then when Riley does it, he's like, oh, just pick it up. So there's definite favoritism. And so that pisses Nate off.
Right.
He's like, what the fuck? He's cheating. He's all right. And then he's like, oh, and then he starts to roast the whole table. He's like, freaking Taylor, or was it Riley over there dicking down Taylor? Let's not talk about you, fish guy.
Fish fucker. Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what this was. And he was, and the mom just fucking oblivious. There definitely should have been a fucking conversation after that with the parents. Like, what did he mean by fish fucker?
Right.
Are you fucking the fish?
Yeah.
So, yeah, after that whole situation, Taylor and Adam talk again, and this is when he's like more vindictive towards Riley. He's like, he said he's just gonna use you for your body. She's like, stop trying to break us apart. At this point, she's like probably over Adam, like way over Adam, and just super into Riley. And he's like, he called you his cum dumpster. And that's what she is. Oh, that's where I draw the line.
Yep.
Oh man. And then all while this is happening, Adam is looking at Fish Lady through the telescope, and he even jacks off.
That was a weird dynamic that was like put into this movie. Like everything else, and then there was that.
Yeah. Like he jacks off to her while she's undressing. At first I thought he was just trying to see if his dad was over there.
Right. No, totally.
Yeah. And then he jacks off to her.
Or maybe it was started that way. It was like, I'm going to spy on her to see if my dad shows up there. And then she gets undressed one time, and then he's like, "Oh, how do you do, Mrs. Robinson?"
Yeah. And then, like, when the shit hits the fan, he even goes over to her house, and tries to kiss her after telling her what happened. Oh, this is after. Okay, so Riley goes to meet up Nate because they had a fight after the blow up at the board game,
right?
And this is where like, oh yeah, because no, that's what Nate said. He's like, you're just mad that your dad killed himself because he didn't want to be your dad anymore. I was like, holy fuck, that's a heavy bomb to drop.
That is, yeah. Yeah, especially like in a group, like of people who don't know.
The no situation, right? Yeah, and that's a conversation Taylor and Adam had where he's like, you don't know him because we talk every day. And that's why I was like, is he gay? Like throughout this whole time, right? But no, and so when Riley confronts Nate, because Riley goes to Adam, he's like, Taylor's not talking to me. Do you know why? If you said something, it's cool. Like, and that's him saying like, I know I stole your girl. And right. So if you did something, like if you had said something, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
This is just a summer thing anyway. And Adam's like, no, I didn't say anything. Maybe it was Nate. And he's like, no, Nate would never do that. Like, he's a fucking dick, but he wouldn't do that.
Right.
And he's like,
well, you said that about his dad.
Yeah.
Or he said that, yeah.
Or no, he's like, he's family. And then Adam's like, oh, well, look at my family. It's all fucked up. So, yeah. And then so when Riley goes to confront Nate at the drug dealer's house, they have an argument. They're like, all right, why don't you jump off Taylor's rock and then we could fucking be cool again. And so they go to Taylor's rock,
and like two cousins or best friends or whatever. It's like, I'll do it if you do it 100%.
Yeah.
And they're like, fine, do it then.
This is how guys make up, by the way.
And both of them just assume the other's gonna like puss out, and then
and this is the first time we actually see Nate kind of pussy out.
Right.
He's like, listen, man, you don't have to jump off. All right. Like, let's just walk back down.
Right. Because they have a little cliff that's maybe like 12 feet high.
Yeah.
That earlier Adam does scared. And he's like, and Riley says, he's like, okay, think about it this way. If you jump off this, there is a possibility you might get physically hurt a little. But if you don't jump off this, there is a 100% probability that Nate will call you a pussy every day for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, he's like, he will mentally abuse you for the rest of the summer. Yeah, but then like, Riley has this thing, and I think everyone has this sort of like moment, right? Where like, I'm feeling really fucking shitty right now. And this is just a young version of doing it. The adult version is like fucking an ex. But he's like, I just need to feel something else right now.
Right.
And so like Riley jumps off, and then Nate does it. And then He's like, fuck.
Right. Because he didn't want to jump.
Yeah.
You could tell. But then he was like, he jumped. And that's the bond. That's the bond that we've got. I told him if he did it, I was going to do it. So now I got to do it.
Yeah, and that just shows like, your family, you fight.
Right.
But, at the end of the day, it's like, if you go, I go.
Yeah.
But and then they get back to the boat. What's it called? He's like, "Oh fuck, that sucked," but Nate's like, "Oh, I'm hurt," and then as they're trying to go through the boat ride, Nate just passes out.
Right. And like Riley's definitely like, "Oh man, that slapped my feet. It was like 1,000 daggers going through my legs."
Just like when legendary guy said it.
Yeah. So when he's like, "Oh, I'm hurt." Like you're thinking, "Oh yeah, he just hit like a little wrong and like slapped his arm or slapped his back or
No. So and then we cut to the next scene where the grandma's devastated.
Right.
And at this point, I thought Nate was living with the grandma, but then she goes to say, he died at the hospital. How am I going to tell his parents that he died because of internal bleeding?
Right.
And
and so grandma must live there, and then they go and visit grandma for the summer. Yeah.
Yeah. And Riley is fucking devastated too. And he's like, he drank a whole bottle of Black Label.
Right. And even though he's like a cool looking kid, he's like 90 pounds wet.
Yeah. And Riley, even though he knows his cousin is a dick, he knows that if he was in trouble, Nate would be the one that would come running.
Right.
And that's why, because I think everyone has like a person like Nate that's like, oh fuck, like he's obnoxious, he's loud, but like if there's somebody that's gonna mess with you, he's gonna be the first one to throw a punch.
Right.
And and so like Adam, after trying to assault Fish Lady, catches Riley, who was drunk driving.
Yep.
And takes the keys from them, and they end up at the Lake Superior beach.
Right.
And then the movie just ends.
Well, they wrestle a little, and then they like lay down on the beach, kind of like exhausted, and then the movie ends.
All right, before we get our thoughts into this movie, let's go to our other segment: high star, low star. Kobe, you can go and do your favorite high star reviews.
Okay, so what's it out of 10? So we got a 9 out of 10 by Side Right. If you have to be in the mood for this great film. Imagine a movie that seems a montage of home video shorts of 3 young teens having a summer vacation, which feels both whimsical and real. It very slowly builds towards a tragic ending where characters get to live or die with their choices. It was an interesting movie, an original story, and great acting all around. However, be warned that you just have to be in the mood to appreciate this. This is not a funny teen comedy, nor is it a dark, dramatic thriller, but it's a realistic foray into the adolescent psyche. It's also pretty low budget, although I think masterfully done. This is not a blockbuster that you can enjoy with your friends over pizza and beer, but a thought-provoking movie that only a few people heard about and even fewer saw, but I believe it's worth a viewing.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on review. Like, this is definitely not like a movie. It's like, oh, let me throw on Sleeping Giants.
If I was more eloquent with my words, this is exactly what I would have said.
Yeah, but like this is definitely a movie that I think, the older you are, the more you appreciate it because you could see yourself in these situations, right? We have 1 out of 10 by Cecil Not even being a Canadian rescues a bad film. I watched this film to the end, even though it was excruciating as reading Hemingway, which is fair. Hemingway is boring. It's kind of dry. It's Canadian. It's art, I repeatedly told myself. No, it's simply a badly made film, a boring narrative of 3 unremarkable teenage boys, 2 of whom need major orthodontic overhauls, bored out of their trees during summer vacation. I never heard that. I know bored out of your gourd.
Right. Well, he's Canadian, so.
Yeah. The scenes are as disjointed as the knee I keep throwing out. I like that. That's good creative writing right there. And the film's closing credits appear from out of nowhere. Don't waste your time. Bad acting, amateurish photography, terrible script. Yeah, I could see where he's coming from. This is definitely one of those movies where a whole lot of, I don't know, it's very mundane.
Right.
It's a very middle class suburban drama.
And it's one of those ones like so I watched this with Teresa, and
how did she?
It ended, and she was like, "Okay, well, tell me what you thought about it." And I was like, "You know what? I can't talk about this movie right now. I need
to process."
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the morning. I just need to like go to bed, sleep, and like let this filter through my brain wiring, because I really don't know how I feel about it right now.
Yeah. Did she tell you how she felt after that?
She did. Actually, she made a incredibly good point. She's like, Adam like didn't do anything this whole movie, and he was quiet, and he was like, you know, just like the boring kid.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when Riley gets drunk and starts driving, he takes the keys. He actually stands up and takes the keys and basically probably saves Riley's life. So that's like, he's the sleeping giant, and this is the first time he wakes up and makes any noise. And I was like, wow, you deeper than I thought. That's insightful.
Yeah, and like at first the resolution of the film, it made me kind of angry, because I was like, well, this fucker didn't tell him that this is really all his fault.
Right.
You know, he's the one that planted the seed, saying that Nate is probably the one that said something to Taylor to break you guys apart.
Right.
He's kind of psychopath, like sociopathic, because he's orchestrating all of this because he's mad at Taylor for not, being with him. Yeah, he's mad at Riley for being with Taylor.
Right.
Nate's always harassing him. I was like, man, rightfully so, I guess.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he doesn't disclose that Taylor isn't talking to you. Even when Riley gave him an out, he didn't even disclose that Taylor's not talking to you because I told her you called her a cum dumpster.
Right.
But then as I thought about that, I was like, fuck, that's so realistic, because sometimes there's never a resolution to things in real life.
Oh, right. Yeah, you always want it to be, like that high school Disney movie where everything pans out and all the lies and the truth come out, and then then there's a happy ending, and that's not realistic. And this probably was more real than 90% of the movies that are out there.
Right. And like, obviously, if Riley or Adam discloses it, then, even though like Teresa had said, this is the first time he's taking any sort of action, and it's to save the person he has dubbed his best friend's life.
Right.
And all that stuff. It still doesn't redeem him in my eyes that, he's just doing this to kind of ease his guilty conscience.
Right. That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah. And like at this point, Riley, I understand not telling him now, because it's like, you have shit on you. Let me pile more shit on you. And it's still like in the end.
I'm your one friend who's left because I made your girlfriend leave you, and I kind of am the reason your cousin's dead. So let me say stuff that's gonna make you hate me.
Yeah. Right. And I was like, if someone had done that to me and had told me, I would be better. Just fucking out of pettiness, I will make up with Taylor, and I will do her, and I'll throw the used condom at your house. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, you're the reason my cousin is dead because you put a rift in our relationship and we had to do something stupid to try to mend it. You know, and yeah, so I was just like, man, fuck this kid, dude. I would hella rock this kid. And it's funny though, because like when I saw Adam's progression throughout the whole film, I was like, oh fuck. Like there's definitely moments where I've probably been malicious like that. You know?
Right.
Especially when your hormones are like just freaking raging.
Yeah.
That you're like, no, I want her, you know, and I've come up front with it when I've, you know, had to fucking deal with that whole situation. It's like, it's my fault, you know, and I'm like, you know what? I never want to put myself in this position ever again, you know, and I think that's why characters like Adam, you come to hate because there's at least some part of you at one point in time that has done the same thing. Right. And you just, you know, of course, if you can go back in time, you'd yell at yourself, like, don't be fucking stupid. Right. No, I was thinking, like, I had definitely, like, on the bus in, like, going to junior high. Yeah. I sat next to this girl who I totally had a crush on, and I never ever said anything or did anything. And then one of my good friends asked her out, and I was like, you felt betrayed? Yeah. And then it was like, you know, we're sitting on the bus and she's talking about him and how much fun. And I'm like, he's like, I don't even know why you're with him because he's like a total perv. And she's like, he's not. Why would you even say that? I'm like, you guys are friends. Next time you're over his house, look under his bed. He's got like a briefcase. Open it up. It's got like all these like porn magazines and like movies, like porn movies and stuff. And she's like, no. I'm like, yeah, no, do it. I was like, what a dick move. Like, why would I say that? Except for that I was like a little hurt, a little jealous. Right. You know, I was like, not like she's going to be like, I looked, you were right. I'm dumping him because now I want you. That's like, wouldn't certainly not be what happened. Yeah. But like, you know, like, I think this is like where it comes, like the importance of having a good, like, if you're a boy, like I think there's an important part where you need like a good male role model to kind of help you sort your feelings. Because, you know, obviously that role model will have more experience. Right. You know, so like, you know, if Adam just had one, you know, like cool uncle that he can go to for advice and just be like, hey, don't be a dick. Right. You know, like, it's your fault. You lost. Move on. Right. Yeah, because at 15, it doesn't matter how cool your dad tries to be. He's still like your douchebag dad. Well, especially because so like before you find out he cheated, he's like, oh, he's like a decent dad. You know, he's like, you know, I really wish you'd get out your shell more. You know, I want you to have more fun. Right. Be young, you know. But then, like, you know, him finding out that his dad cheated on his mom is like, all right, that dynamic is gone. But, and you know, Riley's probably the most well-adjusted one out of the bunch. You know, because he's had a tragedy. You know, he's lost his dad, and he clings on to the memories that he's had with his dad, and you know, he's the most well-balanced one because he can get along with Adam's family. He understands, like, you know, how he should act. Yeah. I don't know about Nate, because Nate was like, oh man, if I had a kid like me, I'd beat him up all the time. I was like, fuck. He's like, talk back to me, slap. It's like, oh, I guess him and his dad don't have the greatest relationship. Right. Yeah, and you catch the moments where Riley kind of looks at Adam's dad like a surrogate dad. You know? Yeah. So, no, definitely I've had that too. Like, I had this short stint back when I was in high school. Like, all the girls I liked had boyfriends. But, like, you know, like, somehow we would become friends and we would talk, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Like, right. You know, sorry, there's a couple times where it's like, okay, I think this is okay because you shouldn't do that. But you know, like sometimes it's not like the girls don't help it either. Because then I remember this one girl I was trying to get at. She's like, my boyfriend keeps calling me slut. I was like, oh, that's not cool. Like, you know, and at that point I was like not trying to get with her, but I liked her. But you know, I understand boundaries. It was like, oh yeah, that's not cool. You should leave him. You know, that's an emotionally abusive relationship. I mean, I think now they're married, but I was like, yo, that is rough. But yeah, I have a friend that did do another one of her friends dirty because he was with a girl that he liked, and you know, I remember talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, that was really fucked up. Like, I shouldn't have done that. And you know, yeah, it's I think it's funny because when you look at these boys, Nate might be a little bit younger than Adam, so it's kind of like you get to see 3 different stages of adolescence. You know, where Nate is like this rambunctious, obnoxious. I need to show everyone I'm bad because he's hanging out with older kids.
Right, and like I get, like I feel that because I'm an only child, but I've got quite a few cousins, and so like it would be I'm the only, like my family was the only family that lived on this side of the country. Everybody else was like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, like that area, and so lots of times in the summer we'd go out there and we'd spend 2 weeks, you know, out there with my cousins, and there was, you know, there's like one cousin that he and I got along like thick as thieves, like ever. Like, don't see each other for 2-3 years, and it's like it's been a week. Yeah, you know, even now, you know, when we get together. But yeah, I had like two twin cousins who were like maybe 3 years younger than us, and they were Nate. Like, they were just obnoxious all the time. They were doing they do whatever they could to get like everybody's attention.
Yeah, and then you get Adam, who's like this shy, reserved kid that like I think everyone's like goes through that stage of like, you know, that weird middle part of teenager, and then you have Riley, who's a little bit more sure of himself. He's more confident. He has the coiffed hair. So yeah, I thought this was like a pretty good movie. The older you are, I think if you're young, I don't think you're gonna really appreciate it as much, because it's still fresh in your memory. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't think this movie is gonna age too well because of like how much technology kids are consuming nowadays.
Right. Yeah, there's not a cell phone in like the whole movie.
Yeah, I was like, is this movie in 1995 or something? Yeah, there's no one on their fucking phone.
Because like this could have been. Like, you could have said this was filmed in, like, the 70s, or the 80s, or the 90s, or the early 2000s, and all of those would have, like...
fit.
You've been like, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But
you know, even if it was the early 2000s, maybe you have a kid playing fucking Snake on his Nokia. He goes, oh, my battery's out. Oh, no. Let's be honest, Nokia batteries last forever.
Yep.
But yeah...
But it's going to be tough. This upcoming generation's not going to feel this movie.
Yeah, I think if you're like, I think this is applicable to anyone that's 25 and over. I feel like anything younger than that, they are like, oh, I had an iPhone when I was in 6th grade.
Right.
Oh man, but we are coming up to our hour. I think this is a good way to do it, right? Yeah. Yeah, it felt... I got to get Colby into the discussion a little bit more.
Yeah. Right, because like when the movie ended, I was like, oh, we're going to like synopsis this. And that's going to be like 4 minutes. And then how are we going to fill another 50 minutes after that?
Yeah, we naturally got to like our hour without yeah, it was nice.
And I watched a little thing with the director, like the writer director. Yeah. And so like they did with the Cannes Film Festival, and they were popular enough that they went and they showed this at 120 different film festivals.
Oh no! Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was that many.
And it was like even a couple places that did very small theatrical releases of it, but it's but it got some real good acclaim in that film festival circuit.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's a really. I mean, I could definitely see why it wouldn't be like this huge like theatrical release, but definitely a good movie. If this is the first time you guys are joining us, thank you for joining us. We do our reviews in 4 sections. We have Stream It, DVD It, Blu-ray It, and I guess Ultimate Box Collection, which I don't see what you would pair this with. But
right, because I think this is the writer-director's first.
Yeah, it's movie. Like you can't pair this with Gonzo and Kids. I mean, it's kind of within that realm, but this is probably this would be like the Disney version of those movies.
Right, yep.
But Colby, where are you at for this one?
Man, that's just tough. Like, I would like to revisit this and watch it again, but it's not going to get frequent viewings because this is because it's heavy.
Yeah. Surprisingly heavy.
So maybe I would have to go DVD. I don't know. Blu-ray might end up giving you some more background, some interviews with the cast and stuff,
directors.
I think I would have to look at what kind of special features, because I would be very interested in that.
Yeah,
especially for a movie like this, I would like the special features. But if there wasn't really much, then probably DVD is probably where I have to stick.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, I don't really see this getting repeat viewings. Like I said, I'm never gonna throw this on the background while I'm doing something. It's like in my mind, it's like, oh, this is where Taylor sticks her tongue down Riley's throat. Like, no, but I mean, it's definitely like people that's like within my age range, like early 30s. I definitely would be like, hey, you should, if you're like ever in the mood to kind of revisit your knucklehead days, you should watch this.
Right, because it's like not a, hey, come over, watch this movie with me.
No.
But it's a, I got this DVD. You should take it home and watch it.
And let me know how you feel afterwards, Like, do you feel empty? What are your feelings? I want to interview you after you watch it. Right. But this is definitely, like that review guy said, this is not a beer and pizza movie.
Yeah, right.
I mean, even though I ate pizza while I watched this. But this is definitely this is a good movie for anyone that's like that got to have little knucklehead summers where you did irresponsible shit.
Right. Yep.
Oh man, well, thank you guys for joining us. We always appreciate everyone that listens in. I swear, we've been doing this for 2 years. We'll get better. But check out our Amazon affiliate links linked down below. You don't have to buy those items, but you're going to go shopping on Amazon anyway. So, we're halfway through our hot and spicy chart. We'd really love to get it with the Big Mac sauce. Kobe.
And probably the easiest way to get a hold of us is Facebook. We get Who Watches This Facebook page, and jump on there, give us a like and a share and a follow. That way when new movies come out. We have not missed a week in 2 years. We're pretty set on our schedule, and of course, if you got any ideas, any suggestions of movies you want us to review, throw them in there.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check out who does our theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on her album, Music for Podcast 3, and her Bandcamp is down below.
Thank you.